Hear us.
Oh, okay. We start again. Hey, hey, hey. Don't you love how we start off with hey, hey, hey? Because you get it? I know. It's a really, really sweet little pun.
Quite profound.
It really is, actually. So, hello, everyone, and welcome to listening part 3 of How Are We Listening to Our Horses? Do you know if you're listening to your horse? Some beautiful ways that we understand in the horse world, because remember, we brought horses to our world. So it's not fair because they can only think, act, and respond like a horse, that we're trying to take them to our world, because it's not possible, because their brain alone is designed completely different than our way. And remember, they're prey animal, we are predators. So it's going to be really fun to go into this one. And we've already decided, even as we were preparing for this, oh my gosh, there is actually like 10 parts. Well, there could be 100 actually, but we're thinking we might just carry on with continually bringing, because there were so many things we wanted to bring in today. And it's like, no, there's just no time.
Yeah. Oh, there we are. As long as you guys want it, we'll keep doing it. So I think there are a few people joining us thus far. So do let us know who you are and where you're from, because we always like to know that piece of things.
Absolutely.
And it helps us along as well. Okay. Do we want to do some of the regular rigmarole as we're
I
getting
think
some
we
folks on here?
actually should.
Okay. So the very first thing that we always like to bring up is this beautiful hashtag of ours. Well, it's really a Careyism, if you will. And it's that hashtag holy jumpin' tuna fish. And we heard this from one of our lovely soon-to-be facilitators this morning, Brooke. So
Yes.
We're very excited about that. If you're joining us, let us know who you are and where you're from. And that holy jumpin' tuna fish is if you hear something that you're like, wow, this blows my mind, or that's information I never knew before. I'm really loving what you guys are talking about. Whatever it may be, throw in that hashtag for us, because then we know what you like to hear.
Mhm.
So love that piece as well. And then we do have another hashtag too, which is we are life changers. And that's not just us. That's not just you and all of our horses around the world. That's everybody who has the opportunity to change lives for the better every single day that we live and breathe, with bringing about just a little bit of kindness, people.
Always kindness.
Kind, yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Not you guys, because, well, you guys are cool like us.
Obviously.
We're kind, right? We're not unkind.
We're kind folks. It's
Absolutely.
a good thing. And then I think maybe we'll just introduce ourselves here. Oh, and if you're catching this on replay too, because we've got two different things going here. We got our Facebook folks, and then we've got our people on Vimeo. Not video.
That's what we think
We're
it's called.
Sure. Yeah, but you're here. So if you are here as well, let us know that you're watching. And then if you catch us on replay on Facebook, let us know too, so we can come back and say hello.
Hello. How are you today?
Exactly. Okay.
Do we got everybody?
I think we're getting some stuff rolling here.
Okay.
I haven't seen anything. Facebook folks, you're not telling me who you are or where you're from. So get it together. We know you're there. I can see you.
I like that.
Just to let you know a little bit about who we are, if it's your first time joining us, my name is Carolyn Charles. I'm the Director of Sales with the Equine Connection, the Academy of Equine-Assisted Learning, Inc. And, the funny thing is I did not start this whole thing out as a horse person. So when we first started all this whole thing, Carrie told me about it, and I flat palmed her and said, that sounds real nice, Carrie, that you want to play with horses and help people. Okay. But I really needed to see the proof in the pudding. And it wasn't until I saw a program, I saw the relationship between a human and a horse, and that there was a change in a moment, just through that human, I guess, tapping into their empathy for the horse versus in what people were telling her to do in that moment. And I could see just there for a quick snippet that this can help. This can do something different. There is something here. And then throughout the years, we've come across so much research. We've seen how our own programs work for other people as well. And the proof is in the pudding. We did an Authentic You workshop this past weekend.
Oh my gosh, it was so beautiful.
And some of the outcomes from that were massive.
Yeah.
Like, people actually ended friendships, started new relationships in a different way in their lives, had the best sleep they'd ever had in years, simply from attending one day, not even the second day of the course yet. So we keep seeing these things happen every single time that we run a program. And so we know this works, and we know how people can truly benefit through working with horses.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carrie Fulmack, and I am the owner and founder and master instructor of the Equine Connection. And I have to tell you, it is one of the most humbling, and it's such a privilege to have a job like this. For all of us who beyond love our horses, it's so phenomenal to think that you can find a life-changing business that not only do you get to be with your horses all the time, but you get to see a human making a change right before your very eyes, because you literally allow the horse to be the teacher. And our greatest thing with our certification that I'm so, so proud of, and I know Carolyn is too, is the welfare of the horse comes first.
Mm-hmm.
So everything we do, we have exercises and programs and curriculum, instructional material, all of those things that come with our certification course, ongoing support for the life of your career, free training, like ongoing. And as we learn more, we of course share it with our certified facilitators. So it's just a beautiful place to be, because I don't know, I know you guys have heard me say this before, but I think we could be like 200 years old and we'll still be learning more about the horse. But
Absolutely.
That's why it's imperative through that welfare of the horse that we understand what that horse is needing. And of course, the number one thing a horse does need to feel is safe. And horses are the most feeling of all beings. So they feel, they react. We as humans, we feel it too. We're intuitive, but then we take it to our brain and we talk our intuitive out a lot of times. Mm-hmm. So even in unsafe situations, we're like, yeah, I did feel it was wrong, but you still talk yourself out of it, Yeah. So we're going to get into some cool things, but we do have a giveaway today as well, which is kind of exciting.
We're not even making you stay till the end, which makes us really nice people.
It really is. But we'll say it at the end too, because I think it's always so exciting to have a gift and a useful gift.
So this is a booklet, if you will, of all of your questions answered about equine-assisted learning. So not even just our certification, but what it is, what does it look like? How are we working with the horses and doing it this is in our way, and the right way to work with horses too, is we're not using them, as Carrie said as well. But we want you to have the opportunity to have this, because if you've ever thought of this as a career, these are the things that you need to know, the questions you need to ask, especially when you're looking for a certification as well, to see which one it is that is going to be right for you and get you where you want to be in now 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the line.
And it's even better than that, my friends. We went into each of the groups of any kind of equine assisted modality out there, and we pulled the number, I think it's the number 10 top questions, I guess you would say, what people are asking in these groups. So we put it all together in this. So if this is what you want,
what we need you to do is
first put in gift, because you got to do it in here first.
That's right. We want to see it in the comments, gift, and then you're going to shoot me an email. So you're going to throw it into Carolyn@equineconnection.ca. It's up there on the screen for you. And you're going to say, can I get my free gift from today's live?
Yeah.
That's all we need.
That's right.
But then we do want to know that you're here too. Laura, Predator, learn how to think like prey. Wouldn't it be nice? Yeah. Insert, and it's funny, even with the intuition piece that you were saying about so many people feel like they don't really have it, but we do. We just ignore it regularly. We've all been in the car and you look to your left and someone's looking right at you or something along those lines. You have it, right? We just ignore it. So
yeah.
Oh, good. I'm seeing gift come in here.
And I think it's our, now we're going to call you our Brooke. Isn't that cute?
He belonged to us now.
You're still going to love it. Like no tomorrow. So we've got lots of pictures and we're really going through exactly, again, how that listing piece works with our pony pones. I call them pony pones. I know some people don't like that, but they are horses, but I call them pony pones. And when I meet ponies, I call them horses. So a little bit dyslexic on that.
The comments just finally came through. So before we continue on, want to address this one from Jody as well. Do you not have to have a bachelor's degree to pursue this career? If you're doing therapy, 100% you do. If you are developing life skills with people working with horses, such as our certification, you do not need to be a therapist, because we do not go into the psychology and therapy side of things at all.
No psyche.
It's something that can be kind of prevalent in the equine-assisted learning industry, that people muddy those waters a little bit, and that's not super ethical by any means. So I love that you asked that question there. I don't think I meant to do that if I put up a, but it's not super ethical.
Yeah.
match there. But you do want to make sure that whatever certification you're looking at, if they're saying therapy, that they do require someone to be an actual certified degreed human being. Or if you're not degreed in that way, you can do what we are doing, which is helping people develop life skills with horses. So great question.
It is a great question. A great piece to that too. We have a lot of therapists and psychologists and counselors who will come to these programs with their clients, and they get to stand back and just watch, and then they can do their therapy piece after, and then they leave our facility.
Yeah.
So we're not a part of any of that piece. So I really like that.
Yeah, but it does work very nicely hand in hand with some of the organizations that we work with.
You darn tootin' galootin'.
Yeah.
Okay. So last week we kind of finished off, we called it part 2 of listening to your horse. So because this is part 3, we did finish off with the dentistry piece, but we're going to go back into now the brain, because there's a couple of things we just wanted to touch on, because we're actually going to show you the whole process, show you pictures, and what would you say when you did a step in, and making sure we're talking the horse's language and not the human language, because that's really imperative. So the yawn, I don't think we touched on that last week. And this is through Dr. Stephen Peters, neurologist. And again, he's done the dissection, understanding exactly what happens. So I personally, as a professional, like to always speak the most professional way. I mean, except for a holy jumping tuna fish. I mean, I
like to speak the science piece and the truth of something.
We're
it. Still goober nuggets.
Yeah, we're still goober nuggets. That's right. So that's still all in all good. So of course, every time a horse used to yawn before in the olden days, I would just, oh, look at that. Step in. That's a release, that's happening. But now I do it to Dr. Stephen's way, because to me, being a professional, the people need to understand, why is this horse yawning? What does that mean when a horse yawns?
And they always assume it's because their horse is tired.
Yeah. And it's not like us as humans. So it's the cool piece is a horse has been in a stressor of some kind. And again, it doesn't mean you know what that stressor is, come into the arena. There could be other things that are happening, but there's a stressor that's happening. So you will see that this horse is in a different place. But once you start working with your horse and your horse is starting to feel in a really safe place, and we can tell that through the body language, which we're going to be talking about today, is then they'll start yawning. And when they start yawning, what they're doing, again, feeling safe, they actually go to their opioid system. And what does that do? It releases those beautiful endorphins or dopamine or whatever is coming through naturally. So you'll get 3, 4, 5 yawns. It's like, oh, that's so beautiful. So when you step in with clients, it's always so cool that you've got a little bit of factual trivia to say, oh my gosh, look at what the horse is doing now. Why do you guys think this is happening? Oh, I don't know. He's tired. You see, like it gives us an opportunity to start a conversation with our clients.
And I love that we can give the why. Like how, well, yes. You know how much I love that question. Yes. I'm like a toddler. Why? But when we can give that answer to people, it helps them to solidify what the horse is actually saying to them. And again, it's not us putting humanisms on the horse. Instead, it's actually going with what we know is the research and how a horse is communicating or what they're actually getting from something like a yawn. So it does help people a lot to even sort out what's going on within themselves in many ways too.
Absolutely. The second thing we want to talk about in the brain of the horse, and again, Dr. Stephen Peters, is horses, yes, they understand respect. We understand respect. But horses do not understand disrespect. That is an abstract word, an abstract thought that a horse's brain cannot comprehend. So when people say, even us as horse people used to use this terminology, that this horse is disrespectful. Well, he's not disrespectful because you don't know what the heck you're talking about. So, sorry, got an itch again. An itch, it's a tickle. It's not an itch. I wish it was just an itch. So when we know that a horse is doing something that we deem is disrespectful, that means we have allowed something to continue to do that. Because we know how, horses, they always rub into each other, but they're solid with it because they weigh so much. Yeah. Like they, again, not being disrespectful to each other either. If that other horse didn't want that, of course, they would be very clear in their body language, like get the heck out of Dodge. So really important not to use the word disrespect anymore, because when we know better, we have to now go with the right way, because horses can't think in abstract. Humans can only think in abstract.
And we mentioned last time about that the prefrontal cortex is one of the things that there's a lot of misconceptions about. They don't have one at all. Well, they do. They have that frontal lobe, but it doesn't work the same as ours. So like a thought like disrespect, I'm going to show you I'm being disrespectful, is not how their brain processes information. So they don't have that thought process to figure it out that way. It's just a need that they have at the moment that we've allowed them to probably get away with in the first place.
Mhm.
So they continue the behavior, right?
Yeah.
So it's not that they think it's wrong and they're doing it just because they can. They just don't know any better, right? They don't know any different.
Absolutely. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this gate thing really does it just floors my brain. I mean, these beautiful sentient beings and who they are and how they help so many humans. But I tell you, sometimes we just kill ourselves laughing because we want a horse to come through that gate he just went out of, and the horse can't seem to see it.
I'm locked over in the other field. How do I ever get nay?
I don't know. It's so
funny. What are you doing?
I'm sure this has happened to you guys before too.
Oh my gosh.
So we're just going to go into the body language because we want to go into those step and moments so we can see how horses are going to be talking to us. So body language is huge. Oh, did you want to talk about that? The pay it forward thing?
Oh, yeah, we can. Well, maybe we'll talk about, let's go through the body language and we'll talk about that before.
Okay. And we'll do that thing after.
Yeah. This one. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah. We can do that.
Okay.
I like that. That's a variety of different.
And two pictures, the exact same on the bottom.
Body language that horses are giving to us on regular basis. Is there such a basis?
On a regular basis.
Yeah. Okay. You see, I like to talk the science, not the grammar. Yeah. I don't know. So before we begin any program, and of course we've been studying and learning and doing as much research that we can, and everything's got to be evidence-based for us to even bring it into our program. Because if it is, evidence-based, then we're not going to use it. So for an example, with that 4 feet away that you can hear, that a horse can hear a heartbeat. Well, that's not true. There's no research to back that piece. So whatever you're doing in your own lives too, always make sure, like, proof is in the pudding too. Watch your herd and to make sure everything that you're learning, oh, I do see that. Oh, I see how that horse does that with this horse. I think that's power in their body language. So before we run anything, we're understanding how we're going to be facilitating the process, because it's the horse who's the teacher. We're not the teacher. Mm-hmm. So we're the facilitators who will have those step-in moments to help and guide our clients. But we have to understand the horse in their language, not in what we think the language is. So this is why it's imperative that we study, we learn, and we grow, and we keep learning with our horses. So we do an orientation exercise first before any human goes into our arena. So through this orientation, we talk about why we work with horses. We give them the knowledge and everything to do with this beautiful prey animal. Then what we'll do is we'll take it into the arena. And now we're going to do a demo with our horse, a real live horse. We don't do anything fake. And we bring our horse in and we talk about the body language. So from ear to nose to body to barrel to the foot, like everything that would be an important piece to our clients who are coming in. And safety. Safety is the number one thing we're always paralleling in our arena. So if we have a horse who's got a really high head, well, with us or with our clients, you'd have to take a step back to even say, okay, so what's happening right now that you're trying to tell me? And again, even doing that looking where your horse is looking, show them that you're looking, because that shows them that you're actually listening. So it's really important to be mindful of that piece. And the other thing we do in the arena before our client even touches any of our horses is we also show them how you cannot pull a horse's head, because we've already gone over the language and how pulling on a horse will escalate his head. And we don't want the escalation because that's the adrenaline chemistry that's coming in. So then we go into talking about how do horses, now we can go into it. So how do horses hear us? Because one thing we always tell our clients is horses hear everything that we think and that we feel. How in the world is this possible? Horses speak one language globally around the world. We as humans have many different languages and dialects. So it's not through the words that our horses hear. And our horses don't hear what we did last night. Like, they're not mind
No.
readers. But what is it that they are hearing? Because we have to help them understand. In hearing, it's through thought and feeling. If we're thinking and feeling the same way, that's the stimulus or energy that goes over to our horse. If we're in conflict, we're not congruent, so like this, which is most of us humans, we're in conflict regularly. That's the stimulus or the energy that's going to our horses. So they're hearing this stuff. They're not hearing our actual words. Does that, okay.
I think, yeah, and I think it does.
Oh my goodness.
It makes sense to people, and it helps them to understand. Like, one thing that our clients might come in with sometimes is that they're concerned that they're going to make the horse feel the way that they feel.
Yeah.
And which is a beautiful empathy that they have. But we don't want people thinking that they're going to, if they're sad, they're going to make their horse sad. Their horses just want them to be authentic and balanced where they are, right? So that we're thinking and feeling the same thing. This chart that we have up there, I won't go through the whole thing because it's very small for me, but it really is showing how does the energy work within our body when we are in different emotional states. And when we're talking about energy, it really does boil down to grade 5 science, solid liquids and gases. We know everything is made up of molecules. They all vibrate differently, closer together, further apart. Hopefully some of this is
proven
ring a bell. Yes.
Even Einstein proved it all.
That's right.
ECGs, EKGs, all of that's energy.
And all measured in that same realm, right?
Yep.
So we know that this is stuff that goes on through our body, and we want our body to constantly be feeding itself, because we know that our body fixes itself in a lot of ways too, unless it's unable to, or things aren't flowing like they need to throughout the body. So this chart is really showing how in different emotional states, where does that energy bundle up, if you will, or get a kink in the hose when we are in those places. So when we're angry, our heart is going, our face gets hot, our ears get hot, our hands bundle up. When we're in fearful, you can feel your heart is like, you can hear your heartbeat sometimes. Mm-hmm. When you're sad, it kind of makes sense too. You can see the energy's bundled up around the heart. It's having a broken heart. There's a reason why that name got put there. Your heart is still pumping blood. It's doing everything that it needs to do, but it can literally hurt sometimes. Why? Like when you go to cry, that lump you get in your throat. What the hell is that?
Like it's like a nut. You swallowed a nut or something.
A walnut stuck there, but nothing's there. Why? It's because there is a bundle of energy there at that point too. So we go through this with our clients, especially so they realize that it doesn't mean that in happiness and love, you see the energies flowing through our body quite nicely on those. It doesn't mean you have to walk around in happiness and love all the time, because it's simply not realistic. And we wouldn't even know what happiness and love were if we didn't experience the other range of roller coaster emotions.
Life,
right? It's just about being authentic and congruent to where you're at. So if you're walking around in the arena with a horse and you're like, yeah, no, totally having the bestest day ever, and inside you're a mess and you're sad and you're frustrated and everything else, that's when a horse is going to say, this is two things coming from one being, not safe. It's cool to be out there and say, yeah, I am frustrated right now when you're frustrated, or I'm sad when you're sad, or I'm happy when you're happy, whatever it might be. I'm confused when you're confused. As long as you're authentic, your horses are cool to work with you in any emotional state that you're in, as long as you're not trying to shove it down and pretend to be something that you're not. They just want that authentic piece of us and to help us get to that beautiful balanced state where we are congruent within ourselves and mindful of it too.
True dat, sister. Mm-hmm. Now, this isn't our research piece, but we do have the research piece, and that's why we incorporated it into our orientation and helping people have the knowledge of how the horses are hearing us. And of course, even, again, number one thing a horse needs to feel safe, it's being authentic. And this is, like a body emotion map. So it really fits in well to everything that we do. So people start becoming self-regulated in the arena because they can tell by the way the horse through their body language is rolling.
Yeah.
So that's what allows us to have such beautiful step-ins with our horses, because we actually are hearing what it is that they're saying. I love that. Isn't that a great, I just love that map so much. Then, yay, everybody.
Yeah, I think it just brings everything together for us that we realize you don't have to be perfect to live in this world. You just have to be authentic to where you're at, right? None of us are ever totally having it figured out. Everyone's got
No.
problems. We're all messed up in one
Yeah.
way or another. So how would horses have ever worked with us ever if we couldn't be whatever we actually are, right? So it takes a lot of pressure off of people to be a certain thing or act a certain way when they know the horses are cool with us as long as we're true to where we're at.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, it's sad, like in the olden days, well, not even old, I guess it's olden days, but I remember, you know, you don't know what you don't know until you do know. But I remember as I was really starting to get into horses when I became a young mom. I was into horses all my life, don't get me wrong, but that's when I decided, oh, I definitely need to get horses back into my life again. And I remember I was at this facility, and it was an outdoor facility. And this wasn't the horse's fault, but you don't know what you don't know back in the day. So this horse had done something, I forget where he like moved his butt back. And anyways, they had a child there, and I didn't even hit the child, but oh my gosh, whatever that was. And I was just watching, I was in amazement. They took that horse and they literally like beat it, if you could say that. And even remember at that place we went for a training, and that one lady let us work with her horse, but after we were done, she took it out. And how do you do that? Like, what are you doing? Why are like, see, like the parent said that's so disrespectful and we got to train it out of him. And I thought, and I didn't even know better then, but that's still a prey animal. How would that prey animal know? Like,
you taught it as a bad experience.
Yeah, like it looked like it was such an accidental thing. Like the horse moved fast because of something that, you know, came out of the bush. You know what I mean? Like a horse doesn't have the ability to be mindful that, oh my gosh, there's a little human behind me. Plus now I just got scared, because a prey animal doesn't think that way. Remember, the one thought a prey animal is always thinking is what can kill me, what can harm me. So, you know, you think back in the day when you've seen some pretty awful things. And now we're actually listening to our horses. It's just paying off tenfold.
And that's the listening is the biggest part, because, you know, you can beat a horse into submission. Absolutely. You can have the horse that's totally tuned out, doesn't speak anymore, but and then people call it a bomb-proof horse, but that is literally a bomb waiting to go off, because a horse is a horse is a horse, and they will always react like a horse at one point or another. So if they've pushed down everything to a point where they are not reacting at all, at one point that's going to blow and you have an explosive horse coming out, which is one of the most dangerous places they can be. You're far more safe listening to your horses and having horses that will actually still speak than you ever are with a horse that's totally shut down.
And you know, you want your horse to think. You want your horse to be curious. That's the one beautiful thing, you know, we learned with Chris Irwin. I love that form of allowing a horse to be a horse. It's just like when our horse comes in regularly to us. In the olden days, it was like, no, you're not allowed to come into my space. Well, that's such a fallacy now. Like, watch your horse's body language. You see when that horse is coming in, that horse is wanting to talk to you, to tell you something. And it's so beautiful. You want your horse to be a thinking horse. You want that curiosity to still exist. Yeah, you want him to not desensitize. I don't know if that's the word I'm wanting to use, because I don't feel it is. You want them to learn so that they understand how to respond as they're learning, but you don't want them to go to that bomb-proof place, because personally, there's no such thing as that, because it's a prey animal. Prey animals can't be. And I mean, think of our beautiful trick horses. Oh my gosh, they are so amazing. What they would have to learn to live with, and sound and everything that could be happening as they're working with audiences. Like, that would be huge, but that would still be a thinking horse, because the thinking horse still has to be with his person and still be able to know, no, he's got my back. He's keeping me safe. I still do my trick because my person is here keeping me safe.
That bond would be incredible, but that doesn't just come from, you know, working with your horse every now and then. Those people work with their horses non-stop to get those bonds and to have that trust and everything going on with their horse. they work at it to get that kind of thing going.
So now we're going to go into a video so you can see all of the moments. But before we do, we'll just talk about, just so you know, we do have this Pay It Forward fund in case you or someone in your life is maybe wanting to do and work with their own horses, or even someone else's horses. I worked with someone else's horses and an outdoor facility for 2 years before I even thought that, oh, maybe I need my own facility, right? So there's so many different ways, but this is a beautiful way to do it if you are not able to afford to do the full certification. Yeah.
So it is a subsidy fund, and it's not a full subsidy fund. So there is a partial payment that's going to have to come from you as well, but it helps to be able to take the edge off of how much everything costs for you. And the application is fairly simple, but heartfelt is good, because we always want to know, how are we going to pay this forward to other people too? And the reason that we're doing this is we want, again, more people to have the opportunity to help more people while working with horses as well. So this is an option. If you can't afford the full price of the course, that you can check out the Pay It Forward fund, and you can do that. Actually, if you want to type in apply, I believe it was.
Okay.
On Facebook, you'll get an
Yes.
automatic reaction. I was going to say, nope, message from us that will tell you more about it, as well as the link. And if you guys are with us in Vimeo or Vimo, whatever it's called, you can put that in too, and we'll make sure that we get you some information, or you can email me as well for that.
Absolutely. Okay, so these are the moments. So just, if you can, start watching what the horse is doing through these, and then we'll come back and we will do some pictures and do some what would we step in and say sort of idea.
Yeah, we may pause in between. We'll see how it rolls.
Yeah. know about you, but I tell you, I could just sit around watching horse stuff all the time. But
Truly.
the biggest thing when we see those moments, and besides those beautiful living beings who taught people so much, there's so much happiness when a human can just be themselves in front of a horse. And I think that's the best part, especially when they understand how vulnerable this horse is, especially when they understand what they're thinking and how they need to feel safe. And, that's a direct parallel to what it is that we need to feel. So the learning is outstanding when it comes to doing these programs. So
even the moments where you see so many people are drawn to that, putting their hand there, or the horse is leaning in and their forehead's there, for them to understand what that zone means, and that there is a meaning behind that, when a horse even will come and place that on you or something along those lines, and that friendship zone piece, it adds to them. It adds meaning to what they're already feeling, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And it gives them that beautiful feeling of friendship and of connection. And there's so many, especially of the clients that we work with, that connection is one of the biggest things that they have lacking in their lives. They don't know how to connect anymore in the same way. And that is like their stepping stone, I guess, to being able to understand what that feeling of a true connection can feel like again.
I agree. And I think we should have them do some, just see if we're on our own, or we got some people out there.
Yeah. Like, didn't you like it? Put something in there.
Put a love, or put a yucky, or put a something.
Give us something.
I love that.
People.
Before we go into the horse pictures, that language, that listening, and I think a big thing when you're listening to your horses is be the feeler. So go to your feeling intuitive piece, like get all your knowledge and your understanding. Absolutely. Because we need that, but feel what it is that you're feeling, so if it's true or not, because we all have the power to be able to do so. And I know when I first started in this business, the horses kept touching people in different places, and my brain's like, oh my gosh, you got to stop them. They can't do that. But then it felt so good in their whole language in the arena. We go through everything. And when they were with the people, it was showing such beauty. It's like, no, just let it be. Let it be.
Thank you, Brooke.
Thank you, Brooke.
Gold star.
Yep. Appreciate it.
Our Brooke.
Yep. Is everybody out there? Say hi. Say hi. Do something.
Give us a little feedback.
Okay.
All righty.
So let's go to there. Okay. So are we using just that big honking picture?
That's what, otherwise there'd be 42 slides. Yeah.
Boo.
That's what we got, my friend.
Oh, sorry, guys. It's very hard.
It's much bigger on their screen.
Oh, well, then that's good to hear too.
If they have it open.
Okay. So I don't even know what picture to start with.
I think, well, the nice thing that we talked about earlier was the yawn too. So on the bottom right, you see a yawn there, and in the center, just second from the left, you see the beautiful yawn there too. And you can understand how a non-horse person, they might be mildly concerned about what that might be. So it is good to understand that beautiful piece of tapping into their opioid system to bring that in. But that would be a perfect time for a step in either of these situations, because they're showing teeth, and non-horse people might think that's something scary or that they're just tired, but we need to make sure that we're actually communicating how the horse is feeling.
So a good step in would be, so do you guys remember, because we've already taken them through, orientation, or, well, we have, I don't know if necessarily, they don't always yawn. Most times they do yawn in our orientation. You could say, so do you remember what that means for a horse? And if they haven't shown a yawn before, I would step in and factually say, oh my gosh, take a look at what he's doing at that time. And they'll say the yawning piece. And then I'll say, let's look at what his body's telling us. They give me 2 or 3 answers, and then I'll just give them the factual teaching advice. We do facilitate the process, but we still want to give factual pieces when we possibly can.
And I'm so sorry for everybody that was commenting on Facebook. I see that some of these weren't coming through before. With Sabrina's comment too. So if you're afraid to back up, of getting back up, that you should show the horse fear. It's not being like, I'm going to act out fear for your horse. It's being authentic to where you're at. So yeah, if you are nervous, personally, I think I'd tell my horse, dude, I'm super nervous about doing this again. So I just want you to know, because that's authentic. You are.
Yeah.
And and feel the fear and then move through it, but be honest with it. Don't try to fake it that you're not nervous, because then that will be two energies going to your horse at the same time.
And that's telling your truths.
Mm-hmm.
Like anytime you can get it out of your system, because there's lots of things we think about, but fewer things we just voice on. If you can kind of think of doing it that way, always telling our truths makes everything authentic. True. And that's why horses relate so well to that piece.
Excuse me.
Anything else?
I'm crying. It was so heartfelt. So people did like the video. We just weren't seeing the ones through here.
I love
nice
that.
Video, says Angela. Hi from, I think that's the UK in there. Hey, Caroline. Sending you the podcast to your message. Oh, good stuff. Gift. Perfect. Thank you for the uniform.
Oh, yes.
Nice. You guys
put
are
in
lovely.
Gift. That's right. Remember to put in gift to get the gift. Laura too. I love this too.
Mm-hmm. I wish I had access to something like this when I was younger. I feel like it would have helped me so much, right?
Oh, wow. I could not. We're like soulmates, Laura, because I sucked at school. I felt so alone and sad and stupid. And, I always thought if I could have had a life skills program to be in, oh my gosh, I would have aced it. Mm-hmm. Because life skills and tactile and experiential learning, that's where I excelled, not in knowledge-based textbooks. Like that was way too hard. So I so hear you, sister.
We picking up what you're putting down.
Darn tootin' galootin'.
Okay, so now we're caught up with those. Sorry, everyone.
No, that's cool. Then we have our laying down horse. Now, think about this. This is a horse speaking. So all these pictures are always, horses speak all the time. If they're not, they're either sleeping or, dirting up. That's the only way. So horses are speaking all the time. So that's why we want to understand, what does that mean for us? A laying down horse, think about that. A prey animal going down on all fours, even when your horse is drugged. This is the coolest thing that a horse has, the stay mechanism. Mm-hmm. So that means your vet comes, they drug your horse up, they look like a drunk sailor. You think your horse is going to fall. They don't fall. Mm-mm. Like they have this cool thing that God put in them, that it's a stay mechanism, and their legs lock so they cannot fall, because they know if they fall, they're going to be eaten. Mm-hmm. So it's instinctually, they know not to fall. And that's why that stay mechanism works so incredibly well. So for a horse to voluntarily do a lay down or a roll in front of you or your clients, wow. But you're going to do a beautiful factual teaching moment by asking some questions.
Absolutely. And it's such a nice moment too, because they can figure out, what does that even feel like? And when people are with a laying down horse, some of them could have been super, super scared, and the horse is doing that grounding piece and looking small for them. Mm-hmm. And we had a horse, Jordy, that he was beautiful for it. When people were terrified, that was like the first thing he would do, is make himself small and lay down and show that trust piece to people. And it means a lot, again, when they understand that. It's, again, not that they're just tired. That's not why they're laying down. It's either that beautiful grounding piece to help our clients who are in the arena to ground, or it's that showing the true trust piece and allowing them to see that they're small. They're smaller than they look.
And then Carolyn also goes into a lot of that vulnerability that it takes for that horse. Like it's a gift. Mm-hmm. Like all of us, let's be a part of this, because it's a gift for us that this prey animal just went and showed his underbelly to all of us. Like seriously, it's mind blowing. Like no matter what, your clients, for yourself, this is huge when a horse presents that safety in front of yourself and clients, because mm-hmm. oh my gosh, it's what a great place for them to be able to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love when people are with them too, and they go around behind for the safe place, where they can be, and they just be with the horse. And sometimes that's all they needed for that day. And the horse knows better than we do.
It is very, very true.
The top right photo I love as well, as that's a beautiful example of that scan. So, our horses will check in with us, and they take the opportunity to see where we're at, and they will scan your entire body if they have the opportunity to do so.
They do it, and let them though. So they'll always ask for permission first. They'll either touch your hand or touch your arm to say, can I work on you? And if you accept, don't pat your horse. Like, let your horse show you what they've been wanting to tell you or help you with, or to assure you, to bring something to your awareness. Like, it's going to be, you'll have the answers for what your horse is doing, but oh my gosh, this is imperative to keep your hands down.
We always refer it back to like when you go for a massage. You do not rub the massage therapist's back. That's not okay.
No.
So same thing for our horses. Allow them to do their job without rubbing them back, because think of that weirdness level.
Super duper weird.
Not okay. Yeah.
Then we've got over to the middle left, the Fleming response. You want to step in for that too, because again, most people, I do have to say, when I step in and say, oh my gosh, you got to tell me, what the heck do you think your horse is doing or saying right now, whatever my words are at the time. And now lots, especially non-horse people, because we work with, our clients are non-horse people mainly, is when they when we ask that question, they'll say smiling or laughing. And I love that, because it is very cool, but that's not what they're doing though. So we need, as professionally, to understand what it is that they are doing. So we can go to that, but then we can also let them know why it is that they're doing it, because everybody wants that trivia piece, that are factual truths as to know what's happening. But there has been a time that, I have stepped in and someone said, this horse wants to bite me. So you see, this is why when a horse is speaking, we got to step in so we can help the humans to understand what could be happening right now.
I just thought of a question. I had a horse that kept getting too close, stepping on heels, etc. At the time, the thought was that she had no sense of boundaries. But could it be possible that she was trying to tell us something? Interesting thing with that is, well, age can be a factor of it too. Younger horses, they do come in for comfort.
In very, yeah.
And they will do that piece. Now, there are some horses that if they didn't ever get out of that zone, or they didn't have the opportunity to do that as a younger horse, that they still do that with their people at times, which is not ideal and safe, because they might step on you. But
not with non-horse people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's too much for non-horse people. But interesting, too close, like literally stepping on heels. That's very interesting. Like Lola, who's now, she's much better, but Lola with her barrel and her, everything. She's like,
just, I want to be close. I need to be in your pocket.
Totally. Yeah. And that took a while for her to get to the boundary and feeling safe. But that actually is, to me, still a beautiful teaching moment, because even to help, that could have been a moment where we can say, okay, so what does our horse need from us right now? No, I don't know. Well, they need to feel what? Oh, safe. They need to feel safe. So let's help our horse feel safe by saying, we have a boundary and you got to have a boundary.
Yeah.
So that's a beautiful teaching moment too, because she was definitely teaching something. And I don't know why I keep calling her a sheep, but she was, because you said it was a sheep. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Like I could totally see, like, that was a beautiful teaching moment.
Yeah.
But you'd just be on top of that teaching, because I love that.
If it is just your own horse and you're not working with her in a program or something, you can definitely, again, still go back to that same teaching. What does she need to feel secure in this space? Is there something else that we need to adjust in a different way?
And we didn't really get into it, but we showed pictures last week how that barrel, if it was bent, there we go. If the barrel,
if I was a horse,
if this is the barrel and I'm standing beside the horse and the barrel's towards me, that means she's the boss. So this helps in safety too, because then I can go to her girth area and give her a little, I do my thumb, give her a little thumb movement, and then she straightens out. Because if you watch your herd, where the barrels are, it tells the other horse, I the boss right now. So that's really another great moment that you can do on your own. With clients, I don't do that with clients, because they're non-horse people. They got enough to learn with how the horse is speaking, head high, their ears, their eyes, their mouth, their nostrils, their legs, their swishing of their tail, 6 different messages in how the tail works. Like, there's so much in learning about what that horse, what foot should go first. So we don't get too much into those pieces.
Yeah, you can't overwhelm them with all of that knowledge.
Because we do anyways.
Yeah, they get lots as it is.
Even that bottom left picture, I love that picture of Pass coming in. And look where he's even touching me. Like, I love that. That says a lot. Because what lives there? So that would be a beautiful step in. I always say, because you see this horse doing things, well, all horses doing this to other horses. That's why you can use those words. So what does that mean? So of course, when a horse does anything to me, my question always is, okay, throat, mouth, communication. Maybe I need to laugh right now. Maybe I'm upset. Maybe I should scream it out. Like, there's so many things that would come into play when I understand how the horse is talking to me to help me be authentic to being on the same page in thought and feel.
And I love that we're talking about them talking to us, but in our programming, we do a lot of talking to them because we aren't going in to address a human problem necessarily. We're stepping in to see what our horses are saying. And in that picture in the middle on the far right, middle from top to bottom and far right, you can see Carrie is literally leaning in and talking to that horse instead of discussing it with the people in the first place, because we don't need to hop in and be like, why have you guys upset your horse? We need to step in and say, Bobby, what the heck is going on with this or whatever we saw happening? And that gives people the opportunity to interpret where they're at and not just automatically go to a defensive place or go to conflict place or anything else like that. So we do a lot of talking directly to our horses.
And I think we really wanted to double do it because we put the same two pictures in. I love showing this because you will see this lots of times. So see, now you see the barrel also, but you also see that this horse is paying no attention whatsoever to the people.
Finding any little scrumptious piece of grass that they can find.
Right? So this can also be a nice step in to say, because I mean, obviously the horse is not part of the herd right now, as I mean with the humans. He is distracted. He wants to eat. So that could also be a good step in to say, isn't this just like, and again, who you're dealing with, if it's adults, like at work, you're trying to talk to another team member and they're texting. You can bring in strong parallels to helping them understand, oh, right, we got a horse with us. We need him to be back on our team again, because he shouldn't be on a coffee break when we're actually working with our horses, right?
The center photo where you see the beautiful lady there who has her head rested against Roxy's forehead. Now, this is a step in moment, but not right then. You got to let people have moments too. And obviously, is she in Roxy's blind spot? Yep. Does Roxy know she's there? Yep. Does this look like a safe moment? Yep. It's looking beautiful. So we wouldn't step in right away to interrupt that. We would allow people to have that moment with their horse. And then after they've kind of completed it, that's when we would step in and figure out, okay, well, what was that for them? And that's one of my favorite pictures, I think, of all of our photos, of just that beautiful moments that people can have with horses to connect that way.
It is so beautiful. And in grief, or when you actually allow your body to do what it's meant to do, which means even when we ran our Authentic You Women's Workshop on the weekend, women would well up and I'm sorry. And they would stop themselves. And we're always like, let your body show you what it needs to do, because that will make you feel better. That's being authentic with horses. So when humans need to do that release piece, it's always so special and so private. And the human is so safe because the horse is so safe. Why is the horse so safe? Because the human's so safe, because they're thinking and feeling all the same darn stuff. They're actually releasing. See, if you stop your cry, again, you're not telling your truth. You're holding back, man.
So true.
I keep feeling I have
something stuck.
Yeah, like a little, I don't know, hair or something, and it's really bugging me.
I don't see it.
Okay, but anywho, that was fun. that was fun.
Yeah.
So we are going to be back next week, and we are going to take you through listening to your horse, part 4, because we want to bring in the headache thing. We want to talk about that when it's the play area. A lot of horse people get this one wrong. So this one's really important. How to have a horse go away, doing all those fun things, but maybe even talking about some of the journals, what people get out of just an experience, just working with these horses.
It's true. Because that's really why we do what we do.
Darn tootin' galootin'.
That's it.
But it was fun. Holy Toledo's. We've been talking. Maybe we need wow.
Well, this is gonna be just a continuing.
I know, but it's almost an hour every week.
I know. By the time we get to the end, we're just gonna have learned more information, and we'll just keep going forever.
Exactly. So just to sign off with,
where are we?
Right there.
Going back.
If you want the gift, put in the word gift and remember to email us because.
Nope, that's the wrong one too.
Well, that is
I'm
the
still
gift,
learning,
though.
people. That's the gift. Yep, that's the booklet that you'll get. And that's where you need to send it to right there is to Carolyn@equineconnection.ca if you are on Vimeo to make sure that we can get you that gift off. And you can type in gift in Facebook and we can get it to you that way too.
And if you want to take a look at our website.
And I go back over here.
Okay.
I'm learned.
There we go.
And there's our website, which is www.equineconnection.ca.
We got tons of podcasts and YouTube. We're everywhere. Blogs. We do lots in giving. We believe the more we share, the more we all benefit. We don't want to hold secrets back. The more we're all understanding our horses better, the safer we all are. And yet we're getting more connected and self-aware and being present. And we all deserve this on this earth. So we share. So definitely go take a look at everything we got.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Brooke.
That
was awesome. Good reminders and new knowledge too. Thank you
Woo.
very much. Okay, everybody, have a great week and we'll talk at you all soon.
Adios.